Tonight, the tax that contributed to the downfall of Kevin Rudd has passed the Senate and will soon become law. The mining tax is set to give the government an estimated $10 billion war chest to win over small and medium-sized businesses before the next election. But the opposition was more focused on embattled government MP Craig Thomson and his mystery stomach ailment, as political correspondent Tom Eagledon reports from Canberra.
The tax that cost a Prime Minister his job was still causing controversy to the last vote. Bob Brown says the Senate clerk refused to allow a vote on a Greens motion to have the tax extended to gold and uranium.
Refused to allow the promulgation of the wish of senators to have these motions adequately serviced before this Senate, and I object.
Opposition senators interpreted that as an attack on the clerk's impartiality.
He is the walking glass jaw. The walking glass jaw. When everything else fails, he will attack someone else. What a gutless wonder he is. What a gutless wonder.
But in the end, the vote went as expected.
On this side of the parliament, we stand for a fair share from the resources boom for all Australians.
This is indeed an historic day for economic reform and an historic day for the fair go in Australia.
Getting here's taken a deal with the mining industry and a compromise from the Greens.
I think this mining tax is way short of the mark. We'll be voting for it because the alternative is to raise nothing.
But the Greens have secured agreement from the government to publish monthly figures on how much revenue the tax will raise starting next year.
Helpful in designing next year's budget and the election funding of all the parties in the run to the 2013 elections.
The opposition's pledged to repeal the mining tax and won't support the company tax cuts they'll fund.
I think for consistency's sake, there's no other option.
Former Howard advisor Senator Sinodinos admits the government's give-and-take tax strategy is presenting difficulties for the opposition.
Look, I've no doubt that there's been a bit of untidiness in this area, but I think Tony Abbott has made it quite clear that we would try and get to a budget surplus as soon as possible.
The government's now got both its major taxes through Parliament.
The carbon tax hits businesses for six. That's what it does.
What would hit businesses for six is his plan to increase company tax.
The opposition avoided the subject of the mining tax in question time, instead renewing its attack on embattled government MP Craig Thomson. It's been supplied with fresh ammunition, care of a damaging Fair Work Australia report into Mr Thomson's old employer, the Health Services Union. He's the subject of a second, as yet unreleased, investigation into the union.
The Fair Work Australia Labor Union family tree, quite frankly, rivals the organisational chart of the 5 mob families in New York, which can be found at www.mafiafamilytree.com.
The government says the public's lost interest.
They don't expect the scorn and derision, the grubby, filthy politics from those opposite who engage in charts and mafia. It's an absolute disgrace what you've engaged in today, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
This is the best they can do, a cheap distraction, and everyone should see through it.
But Mr Thomson's health was the distraction today. For the second time in a week, he called in sick, presenting a doctor's certificate as evidence.
It says he's got abdominal pain. What is an abdominal pain? Is he got, I don't know, constipation or you don't know.
You have the bizarre situation of Warren Entsch on the radio this morning purporting to be some sort of medical expert.
The opposition was threatening to deny a pair from its side to keep numbers in Parliament Square.
Now, if the media wants to simply accept that Mr Thomson could have appendicitis last August and could have appendicitis last Tuesday and apparently again today, well, that's fine for the press gallery, but the coalition intends to have some real evidence of his ongoing medical condition.
But medical advice was contradictory.
So the diagnosis is not required for a certificate. You can write a medical condition. Patients need to know that their privacy is sacrosanct.
Do we really want to know if an honourable member has a bad case of hemorrhoids, for instance? It's a bit early, isn't it?
In the event a new medical certificate was supplied, Mr Thomson was granted his pair for the rest of the week, and we were all spared further speculation about his tummy trouble. Tom Eagledon, Late Line.